All right, I'm up first. First, thank you everyone for being here today. I have some prepared, I don't usually have prepared remarks, but I did today because I definitely wanted to hit a few points. I think that video was a great kickoff starting point for us today. I want to thank Sarah Landry and her staff for hosting us here today, NCM Hub, who's obviously going to be recording this so we can share it out to the community. I want to thank ACES and the Climate Cafe for all you do. We are so lucky to have you driving these efforts in our community. And I'm really excited about this new community conversation series. I think it's a great opportunity for new people to meet, to share ideas, and really just learn about the environment and how we can work together to make our community a place that we all want it to be. I've almost been in office 3 years now, and I do feel like we've made some great strides together. We're continued and committed to this work to make good things happen for our community and our planet. You all know I am a lover of Newburyport, my hometown, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you for the work that's being done. We're each doing our part to keep our community and everyone involved and making it our planet healthy and beautiful. So Project Drawdown is the world's leading resource for climate solutions, and if you haven't checked out Project Drawdown yet, you can check them out at drawdown.org. It's a tremendous resource. But according to Drawdown's 100 most effective climate actions, reducing food waste is number 3, and that is just behind industrial refrigeration and onshore wind energy. So I'm very proud to say that Massachusetts was recently rated top in the nation for reducing food waste. In Newburyport, we're looking to do our part in leading the way. And again, that's not nothing new for Massachusetts, right? We're typically the number one in everything that we're trying to do. And again, I'm very proud of that. And I do think Newburyport as a community needs to either be leading in these efforts or certainly be following the lead of others doing their part. Okay, so on that note, I'm excited to announce, apart from our new overflow trash program that many of you have probably heard about, and we're going to be talking a lot more about, that will take effect around the city on October 14th, the Senior Community Center is stepping up to make composting and recycling even easier for people. You'll hear more about that and our new trash program in a few minutes. A huge thank you again to Sarah Landry and Molly Entenborough and to all our community members for helping to drive this effort forward. Our progress as a community is something to celebrate. Thank you all for coming together today for this important community conversation on climate action in Newburyport. Your insights, experiences, and passion demonstrate just how invested we are in ensuring a sustainable future for our community and our planet. As we conclude, let's remember that our journey doesn't end here. Each of us has a role to play in pushing forward ideas and actions we've discussed. Whether it's advocating for greener policies, reducing our individual carbon footprint, or supporting local initiatives like reducing our waste, every step counts. Let's commit to staying engaged, sharing updates, supporting one another, and continuing this dialogue with our networks and beyond. Together, we can make meaningful impact on climate change right here in our own community. Thank you again for your participation. I think this is a great turnout today. Your energy and commitment to sustainable Newburyport. Let's keep the momentum going. Thank you very much.
Okay, now that we've got that fixed. All right. Thank you, Mayor Reardon, for those words. And just to reflect back quickly on the video. Oh, all right. On the video that you just watched. So I would like to first welcome you all here today. We're excited for our first community eco conversation, the first in an 8-part series. So to kick it off, some of you may have read The Story of Stuff by Annie Leonard. It was in 2009. It's as timely today as it was 15 years ago. And the short clip we showed sets the stage for this afternoon's conversation about our stuff. Leonard tells us what we already know, that this isn't just a matter of recycling, it's a problem with overconsumption. We have to refuse buying what we don't need, reuse stuff as long as we possibly can, and then recycle it effectively when we no longer need it. And so today we're going to talk about recycling, composting, why it's so important, and how Newburyport is trying to make it as easy as possible. In just a few minutes, you're going to hear about the city and the senior center, what they're doing to make it even easier for all of us to compost and recycle. But first, I'd like to introduce Bailey Fogel. Bailey is a Climate Cafe alum from NHS, recently graduated from Fort Lewis College, and is a voice of composting in Durango. So today she's going to be talking about some of the work she's been doing in Durango and the importance of taking action so that our community can continue to thrive and lead the way in sustainability. So.
Awesome. Great. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming today. As you said, my name is Bailey. I graduated from Newburyport High School in 2019.
2019.
Yeah, long time ago. In high school, well, I guess I'll start. Yeah. I was working with Sherry a lot in high school, who's here today, on the climate cafes, talking about community issues around climate change. And that's kind of where I fostered my inspiration for me to go out into the world and figure out what these world problems are and how to solve them within a community. And so I'm really grateful that we're still continuing that here in Newburyport, and we've made so much progress. So reducing waste, I think waste is a really important thing. It's something we all produce. And so, as Annie Leonard had mentioned, reduce is the first step for a reason. And that's something I strongly believe in. Something that I focused a lot in Durango, and I still do, is composting and food waste. Food scraps is another word we could use, because 38% of all food grown goes unsold or uneaten. And when you're thinking about that, you're not just thinking about the food itself, but the resources itself that has come into play for that food to be in existence, which is water, sunlight, transportation. A lot of our cases is money that we spend on it. And it's just something that we all create, so that makes us all responsible for it. So the work I have done in Durango, I did an internship with this local company, much like Black Earth, called Table to Farm Compost. There, I was able to analyze data from a pilot program they did with the city. They had a private-public relationship with the city where they made composting free for residents, and then they gained information through surveys about the residents' experience with the composting time they had, and that kind of gave them ideas of what they could do to make it easier and better, kind of like we're doing here today with you guys. I also was on their social media, and I also push local schools to help sign up for composting. And my senior research project from college, I looked at the barriers to community-wide composting. I talked with Molly, I talked with people in Boulder, Colorado, and other small communities to gain insight on what they found challenging when they were making these initiatives towards mandation of organic waste materials being diverted from the landfill. In this experience, I learned a lot about the reality of making change in a small community, and that's something that Newburyport is going forward doing and has been doing in the past, and that was really impactful because I learned, who's all at play, and really everyone is at play, and that's an amazing thing and that's a challenging thing, so I'm glad that we can move forward with everyone here. So something that I believe why it's important for our community and our planet is because more waste-conscious citizens are going to make a better planet, and especially younger people, when they're more educated at a younger age, they're going to grow up aware of their impact, which will then reduce it. And also I believe that food waste is a great model in a lot of ways because it can mirror other aspects of our change. It's just one waste stream that we can acknowledge and be educated on, then we can also apply to other aspects. The future definitely just lies in the hands of us, of you guys, and the decisions that we're making today and that we have made even in the past week. And that, that has to do with what you go to buy at the grocery store today or tomorrow. And I appreciate everybody coming out today. So that's all I have to say. Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you so much. So now I'd like to introduce the first activity that's on today's agenda, and what better way to begin than by celebrating what we as a community and individually are already doing. So on an index card at your tables, I would like you to list as many examples as you can come up with about what you are doing now to refuse, reuse, recycle, and compost. And in a few minutes afterwards, we'll share some examples within with your tables. Okay, if we could all regroup now just for a moment, please. I'd like to direct your attention to activity 2 now. So I hope you've come up with some great examples of what you're currently doing to recycle, compost, refuse, reuse, all of the above. So now on that same piece of flip chart paper underneath your current list, I would like you and your table mates to list some things, some solutions, more things that we can be doing in the community to reduce waste. In other words, how can we go the extra mile in the community? Try to add some more action words to the refuse, reuse, recycling, and maybe put an asterisk next to the most challenging actions that we can take, but perhaps the most important. And afterwards, we'll try to have one person from each table maybe stand and give a few examples of important actions to take and why they might be challenging with the group. So you may begin that activity. Okay, if we could bring it back in now. I'm sure you're all having some really engaging and productive conversations, and I can't wait to hear about that. I would like to now take a brief pause on our activities to hear some exciting announcements from Molly Ettenborough regarding the city's new composting and recycling guidelines.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I think I know a lot of you out there. I'm Molly Ettenborough. I'm the Sustainability Manager for the city, so that means I oversee energy activities, waste, composting, operations, and also on the Resiliency Committee. So we have lots going on in Newburyport. I'm sure you all hear about it, but the first thing I want to say is, she talked about it in the video clip about how important community is. And I want to say that in Newburyport, we are so fortunate to have the people that we have that are on our Energy Advisory Committee. Bill Clary is one. Our Resiliency Committee, Jane Healy. Many people here. Laurel Hankey works in our office. Gloria, many faces that I see out here. Bailey and I have worked together since she was little, actually. She helped do little projects for us. So we're very fortunate. Ben, I shouldn't single anybody out because everybody here has contributed, but it's really important to have community like we have here, and that people are involved and they care and they're passionate about it. So I feel very fortunate that we are a community like that, and that we are making a difference, and people work together can really do great things. So that's what we're trying to continue with this new waste program. If everybody got their little postcards this weekend, I know some people were probably surprised to see them, but this was not an effort that was taken lightly at all. Years ago, when Bailey was in high school and she was part of our waste committee, we tried to look at a pay-as-you-throw program, which a lot of communities in Massachusetts do, which means that you would be paying for all your trash, we either with a bag or with barrels. And it was not something that the city council or the city was ready to accept at that time. So since then, and even before then, we've worked on many, many initiatives in the city. And those have included things like an organics pilot, a zero waste pilot that Kristen Walth ran. We've expanded our opportunities at the recycling center, so we take textiles and electronics and metal. We've just have plethora of options for people to drop off things that don't have to be trashed and that can be recycled. So we've worked really hard to do all that. And then around the time of the pandemic, but I think it was coming before then, prices really skyrocketed. And that's when we said, all right, we have to look at this again. We've tried everything we can with composting and recycling options and educating people and doing pilot programs. But we saw our costs increase 25% at our disposal site. So all of our trash goes to North Andover, to Wheelabrator. It's that one of the big incinerators on 495 that you'll see. And everyone says, oh, that's great. We can just throw it in the trash and it gets burned and it just goes away. Well, it doesn't go away because there's fly ash in the air. And so all those communities that are around there are getting that fly ash. And then there's bottom ash. It's like a fire. It's a big fire. There's a lot of fly ash that's left, and that has to be landfilled. And then the other issue that's happening is all these incinerators in Massachusetts, there's 7, they're getting old, and they're all at capacity. Our landfills are closing. We have one in Newburyport that is closed. They're all starting to close. So we're running out of space. And the state of Massachusetts is starting to ship out its waste, mostly on trains, to western part of the country, or Midwest, and to the south. I certainly don't think people in other states want to receive Massachusetts trash. So the state has set some ambitious goals to reduce our waste. But we also saw a huge increase with Mellow Disposal, our collection hauler, by 45%. So we saw a significant increase over the past 2 years. And this program that we announced is a very minimal change. In reality, we're only talking about 35-gallon difference from what you can put out. It's the same size as your recycling barrel. That's how much trash you can put out per week. And if you need to put out more, you can. You still can. You could just have to buy one of these orange bags at the grocery store. So it's not a big change, and we're hoping it will create people's understanding of what they are doing with their trash and what's in their trash. So it's all about price, of course, and costs, as well as environmentally being responsible. The state has come up with a plan, like they have with energy and carbon reduction, of reducing our waste by 30% by 2030. That's not that long. It's a little scary to think how we're going to do that, but we're going to do our very best. And then 90% by 2050. I'm not really sure how that's going to work and what that means, but we're taking it year by year and step by step. One of the things that we've been working on too with the state is the mattress recycling ban and the textile ban. So those are all now banned from the trash, and we have recycling programs set up at the recycling center and throughout the city for textiles. And then there are organics bans, but those are mostly for industrial and large users like universities and hospitals. But that could be coming someday, but we really have been working hard to try and educate people about organics composting. And thanks to Sarah and the ACES team, the senior center is going to be a LEED municipal building that will show people about composting. They've offered free bags that you can pick up here. You can put your compost in it, and they have now a drop-off center. So people can either compost at home in their backyard with a composter, or they can compost with black earth on the curb, or you can drop it off at one of our free drop-off locations. So we really do feel like we offer a lot for people to get rid of their waste in a responsible way, but there's still, things that can't be recycled. So again, where we talked about at the beginning, reduce, reuse, then recycle. So the bag program starts October 14th, 2 weeks. The only other change is the bulk sticker fee. Those are for furniture and items like that will be going up. That's because those prices were not at all covering the costs of what materials. So we're expecting to see lots of stuff out on the curb over the next 2 weeks. Hopefully not, but We also worked with new developments and private roads that were not getting city service for trash. So we've come up with a plan for all of those that are on private roads so they can now get it. And one of the criteria for them is 50% of the households on those private roads and developments have to compost. So all these initiatives that we undertake, take legislation, they take education and enforcement, and they take financial resources. So we're trying to combine all of those things together to make it work. I know that people are going to have questions, and I'm happy to answer, but they want me to wait till after the next activity. Is that right? Okay. All right. Thanks so much. Good to see everybody.
Great. Thank you so much, Molly. Next, I want to welcome Sarah Landry, the Council on Aging Director, to share the role of the Senior Center as we continue to make progress in composting and towards zero waste.
Hi, thank you, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming out today, and I want to thank ACES for bringing this program forth. When I first heard about it and spoke with Ben Iacona and Art, they both were so passionate and excited about how can we reduce waste, not just around the city, but like how can we bring it here into the senior center. And this is definitely something that is close to and near and dear to my heart. My daughter-in-law is a marine biologist, so I get all the time, how do we, in our own families, how do we take care of our planet? And so these things are important to me personally, and so professionally, I'm super excited when they came and we kind of got in this conversation about how can we do better here at the community center and really be a role model for folks living in the community. The city and the state has these great guidelines and these great programs, but how can we really make an impact here at the senior center and be a model for the community? So I'm excited to do that. One of the things that we're doing right now is we started a couple of weeks back as we started composting here. So we have compost bins. So when people come in and have meals, any meal waste is going into the compost bins. We have them here. We have them for when they rent the hall. We also, just last week, Ben was able to get with Molly, working with Molly, to get Black Earth is picking up a drop-off here at the center so folks can compost at home and bring that compost here and drop it off, and makes it really easy for people to compost and to really reduce that amount of food waste. So we're going to be looking at all kinds of initiatives here. One of the other things that I'm working with the city on is our lighting as well, and we're going to be getting better lighting to reduce the not LCDs. LEDs, yes, in the facilities, and they're going to be retrofitting, and I'm excited about that because that, again, is going to help reduce energy costs and help create a better environment for our facility and for our city. So over the next year, and working with ACES, we're going to be expanding and doing more and more different ways in which we can bring our waste to zero waste here at the senior center. Really pushing better recycling. So I'm super excited to be part of it. Again, I do think that this program is fantastic because it's education. And I do think something Molly was talking about was like the importance of getting the education piece out into the community, because I think when people know their why am I recycling? Why am I bringing down my waste? Why am I doing this? It's gonna be more long-lasting rather than just, oh, I have to do it. And I think you guys are great, and you guys are great having this conversation, because I hope this conversation doesn't stay here and it goes out into the community. Like, this is what's going on at the senior center and the community center, and like, what can we do out in the community, and kind of trickles it out that way. One last thing I do want to mention, here at the community center, we have volunteer opportunities for folks. We're working on getting kind of ecology, I think we're calling them ecology ambassadors. I'm trying to remember what we termed it. But if you have a passion for improving the environment and want to get involved here at the center, come and see me. and then I want to get your name and information and kind of get you on as kind of our helpers. How can we, monitor, make sure we're doing what we need to do, working with ACES out in the community. So keep that in mind. If you want to do more, if you want to take a next step, come and see me. I'm also been working with the Bresnahan School. They are doing composting there, and we have compost bin monitors. And so some of our older adults are helping out during the lunchtime, helping the kids learn how to put things in the right bins. And again, it's all about education. And so to play a role in that is so exciting for me. And so I've been working with Liz Walsh up in the back. She's my intergenerational coordinator, and we're working on getting we need a few more bin monitors. We do have a couple, but I'd love to get a few more. So if that's something you like kids and you want to do something for the environment and you have some time between like 10:30 and 1:30, and you can give us one day a week, come and see me. So like I said, if you have a passion and you want to continue to grow your ability to help the community, come and see me. So thank you so much for coming. Look forward to seeing you guys in the future. We're going to be doing this once a month, all different topics. So, and thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sarah. So finally, I want to welcome Ben Iacomo, a member of the Board of Directors for the Alliance of Climate and Environmental Stewards, who will be discussing maximizing waste reduction at the Senior Community Center. So, yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. As we discuss the opportunity to use this facility and its users to undertake a significant effort to make an impact to reduce waste, the monthly community conversation, of which this is a first, and the project that I will outline seem to be an optimum approach. So effective this week, we are rolling out the project, Maximizing Waste Reduction at the Newburyport Senior Community Center. The project objectives are: engage an active and focused facility and user group, develop best practices and effective collection systems, encourage significant participation, achieve maximum waste reductions, and attain designation as a zero waste facility, and develop a model for others to follow. Our project scope is: identify the different waste that is being produced, prioritize efforts on the major opportunities and/or most significant health benefits, measure the amount of waste being generated, and quantify progress. Starting next week, we will be measuring all of the waste that is being generated. We'll measure how much is being collected on the community bucket that's outside, all the internal stuff, so we will be able to measure on a weekly basis how much waste is being generated and the type of waste that's being generated. Inform, educate, and involve all the users. We'd like to get as many of the seniors and the community who participates in programs here involved in this effort. And we'd like to establish 3 to 5 member team of senior stewards or environmental stewards or ambassadors, take your pick, but engaged people. The project teams, the champion is Sarah Landry. Myself and Jeanette Isabella are co-leaders of this project. The advisors are Molly Ettenberg and Art Correa. And we have one high school senior, a youth corps member, who's currently in school, obviously, but he's part of our team. And obviously, we would like to get our center facilitators, would be 3 to 5. Our first campaign, which we just started, it's called Drop a Bag, Get a Bag. We are providing a free bag for people to pick up as they drop off a full bag of home food waste. And we will focus our attention in the next couple of months on maximizing our food waste collection, both in the area here inside the facility and outside. As Sarah mentioned, we have Bresnahan Elementary School students that are also learning how to separate, do waste, and we hope to partner with them and offer this as a complex of both young people and seniors people to be able to concentrate on maximizing food waste. The second major campaign, which will start in December, we hope, is plastics. Our campaign slogan is reduce the use. From my limited experience so far, I've learned a lot in the last couple of weeks. One is that recycling that we've been weaned on is really very low effective. And on the average, 5% of all our plastics is recyclable. And more plastics is being generated. It's very obvious when we go to the grocery store how many new items are in a plastic container. So the most significant effort and the most big bang for the buck is reduce the use. So try to get all of what you currently use for plastic, if there's an alternative, either a compostable container or a metal container, focus our attention on that, and we'll be developing a program to that respect. We encourage everybody to participate. We'll be talking about this program, and we'll hope to engage as many people as possible. Thank you. There's some handouts for the details on each of these tables, by the way.
All right, thank you, Ben. And so with just a few minutes left, I invite you to participate in our third and final activity of today. So keeping in mind Annie Leonard's video that we watched at the beginning of the presentation, Bailey's experience, Molly, Sarah, and Ben's comments and plans should definitely refresh our thinking about overconsumption and what we can do to reduce it. So now it's time to talk again with your table mates. As Katherine Hayhoe, America's best climate communicator, says, talking and listening are the most important actions we can take to impact climate change. So now at your tables, on another piece of flip chart paper, I'd like you to create 5 inspirational questions that could spark a conversation about recycling and composting within your community. Practice in pairs or trios until you hear the chime, and put an asterisk next to your best question or conversation prompt that you can come up with. How can we inspire more people to start talking about this and acting on it? All right, if I could have everyone's attention, please. Thanks. Okay. I hope you were able to gain something from these conversations today and can relay the message of dealing with overconsumption by recycling and composting to local community members. I would quickly like to say that Black Earth Composting has also offered a gift certificate for 6 months' worth of composting through their company. And Bailey, now, if you could choose a number 1 through 15, please.
And I choose number 7.
7. Connie Preston. 6 months of composting for free. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I can pay that off.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Do you want to pick it? Yeah, pick another number.
Let's go 8, number 8.
Oh, Ann Satir.
Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't live here, so one more number.
5.
5. Jen Fogel.
Yeah, there you go.
Great.
No, we take it down the street instead of having
6 months, Dad. You don't have to get down the street.
Okay. All right, great. All right, and so before we wrap up, I just want to end the conversation with an important quote that we feel reflects the purpose of why we've come here today, which is, in the end, we will conserve only what we love, we will love only what we understand, and we will understand only what we are taught. And in essence, people will only take action to protect the environment if they truly understand the impact of waste and resource use. The key is environmental education. Only through awareness and teaching can we inspire the kind of love for the planet that leads to meaningful action against overconsumption and waste. So I want to take a moment to thank the mayor for participating in the conversation, Molly and the Sustainability Department, Sarah Landry and the Senior Community Center team, Ben Iacomo and the ACES support team, and Sarah Hayden with the NCM Hub for making this possible today. Your efforts and support are greatly appreciated. Lastly, we do have a Q&A table in the back with Molly, Ben, and Sarah to address what was discussed here today. I encourage you to utilize the resources we have available and look into current community postings about initiatives and projects where you can get involved. I hope to see you at the next conversation on November 7th about the Merrimack River. Thank you so much.
Thank you.